Hi guys, today in the workshop we have a Ford Transit that's in for an issue with its EGR valve. It's coming up with these codes here, and we've done a few tests and we found out that it's the EGR valve itself which is faulty, so we're going to go ahead and replace it.
So if you look into the engine bay, right in the back you can see the top part of the EGR valve. It is quite hard to see, so for a little bit better access we'll go ahead and remove this top vent. There's two 10mm bolts holding this on, and then it should just come away. Make sure you don't just rip this away, because there's a little clip holding this vacuum pipe that's just secured on the back. Now that we have better access, we can see the multi-plug. This can be awkward to do by hand, but if you have a hook, you should be able to get underneath the latch and pull it right off. Then we can undo the bolt that the bottom corrugated pipe goes onto. It's easier to get this one bolt from up top, because the rest are a little bit easier to get at from underneath. And now from underneath we can get the other corrugated pipe bolt. You want to make sure that you undo this pipe first, because if you disconnect the other hard pipe, then you'll put a lot of strain on that corrugated one, and you really don't want to break it. This is a fiddly job and it's very tight, so you'll have to get your hands up in there. Just be careful not to drop the bolts. So once that corrugated pipe is loose, we can now go and undo that hard pipe, which is the only other connection on this EGR valve, and it's held on with another two 10mm bolts. When you're loosening these bolts, you should notice that the EGR valve goes insecure because there's nothing else holding it in place, and now you'll be able to get the seals from between the pipes that connect the EGR valve or the gasket. Also, you need to be aware that you're working very close to the starter motor, so if you wanted to be safe, I would suggest that you disconnect the battery just to make sure that you don't drop anything that could short out. Also, this version of the EGR valve isn't cooled, so it's just the air pipes that are connected to it. There are versions of this EGR valve that have coolant pipes going to it, and you especially don't want that going on your starter motor. Once you're happy that you've got all your bolts and you've got the gaskets, then you can try and go back upstairs and remove it from up top. So just reach in from the top and take it out. So here's the EGR valve that we've removed. As you can see, this is not the cooled version, so you only have the two connections for the two air pipes, and you just want to double check against the new one like we have here, just to make sure that everything looks the same, the electrical connections are the same, so you're not going to run into any nasty surprises fitting the wrong one. Then you just want to place it gently back onto the pipes, just to make sure that you can reconnect it from underneath. Putting the gaskets in place can be really fiddly. I put a bolt through the hard pipe and just hung the gasket off of it, and I just try to place it just enough so I can catch it in the threads, so that it's hanging in the correct place so I can finish tightening it up from downstairs. Again, this is really fiddly. You're going to have to get both hands up in there, so yeah, sorry for the camera angles. I had to get my hands in order to do the job, but yeah, this will be the same for you. It's very tight, and you just want to make sure that you get those gaskets in place without damaging them. The corrugated pipe will have a little bit of flex in it, so you should be able to fit that gasket a little bit more easily. But when you need to tighten the other side of this pipe from up top, that can be a little tricky just because you have to go vertically down and you don't want to drop the bolt. So for that I have a little trick. Take some of the material from your glove and put that onto the end of the bolt. Once you've placed that into the socket, this just makes it grip a little bit better, so you won't drop it when you put it vertical like this. So this just makes life a little bit easier when you're trying to fit that bolt into a hard to reach place and you don't want to drop it. Once you're happy all the gaskets are situated in place and all the bolts have started, you can go around and final tighten everything. Then it's just a case of reconnecting the electrical connector, clearing cords, and then you can start the engine just to listen for any exhaust leaks. And when you're happy with that, you can refit this top vent, and then you should be all done.
And don't forget guys, after your road test, just double check for leaks and double check all of the codes are still clear. I hope this video has helped guys. If it has, please give us a like, a share, comment and all that stuff. If you have any questions, please drop me a comment and I'll do my best to get back to you. Cheers.